The Acer Swift 16AI genuinely surprised me because for around $1,200, you're getting the kind of hardware you'd normally expect to find on laptops that cost much more. But after spending time with it, I also came across one decision Acer made that I honestly couldn't understand. And that's exactly what makes this laptop so interesting. It gets a lot of things right, but that one compromise could completely change whether it's the right laptop for you. So before you spend your money, let me show you both sides of the story. The first thing that immediately caught my attention was the display. This is where I started to understand why so many people are talking about this laptop. For around $1,200, I genuinely wasn't expecting a screen this good. You're getting a 16-inch OLED display with a sharp 3K resolution, a smooth 120Hz refresh rate, and excellent color accuracy. But honestly, the specs aren't the impressive part. What really matters is how the display feels once you start using it. Colors look vibrant, blacks are truly black, text stays incredibly sharp, and thanks to the 120Hz refresh rate, everything from scrolling to everyday navigation feels noticeably smoother than a standard 60Hz display. Whether you're editing photos, watching Netflix, or simply browsing the web, it's one of those displays that makes you want to keep using the laptop, and that's what impressed me the most. Displays like this are usually reserved for laptops that cost quite a bit more. So right from the start, Acer leaves a really strong first impression. But then I started wondering, a great display is nice, but does the performance actually live up to it? Because let's be honest, a beautiful display doesn't mean much if the laptop starts feeling slow the moment you begin working. Thankfully, that wasn't my experience here. The Acer Swift 16AI is powered by Intel's latest Lunar Lake processor, paired with 16 GB of RAM and a 1 TB SSD. But honestly, those specs aren't what sold me. What sold me was how responsive the laptop felt every single day. Apps open almost instantly, multitasking feels effortless, and even with Photoshop, dozens of Chrome tabs, Spotify, and a few other apps running at the same time, everything stayed smooth without feeling like it was running out of breath. And that's exactly what most people are looking for. A laptop shouldn't constantly remind you how hard it's working. It should simply get out of your way and let you focus on what you're doing. That's exactly what this one does. Now, if you're editing heavy 4K videos every day, or rendering complex 3D projects for hours, I'd probably look at something more powerful with a dedicated GPU, because this laptop isn't chasing maximum performance. It's built around efficiency first, but for students, office work, programming, photo editing, content creation, and everyday productivity, I honestly think the performance is more than enough. In fact, this is where the Acer Swift 16AI really started to win me over. But there's another question that matters just as much. What's the point of having great performance if you're constantly looking for a charger? So, how good is the battery life? Now, having a gorgeous display and fast performance is great, but none of that really matters if you're constantly searching for a charger halfway through the day. Thankfully, battery life is another area where the Acer Swift 16AI left a really good impression on me. It packs a 65 mAh battery, and in everyday use, I think that's exactly what most people need. Whether you're working, studying, browsing the web, attending online meetings, or watching YouTube, this is the kind of laptop you can confidently take with you without constantly worrying about the battery percentage. And when it finally does need charging, Acer includes a 65W USB-C charger in the box. That means you won't be waiting forever before you're ready to start working again. I also like the fact that it charges through USB-C. If you already carry a USB-C charger for your phone, tablet, or other devices, there's a good chance you won't need to pack another bulky charger when you're traveling. It might sound like a small thing, but it's one of those everyday conveniences you end up appreciating a lot. Now, is this the longest lasting laptop I've ever used? Probably not. But for the people this laptop is actually built for, students, office users, and most content creators, I honestly don't think battery life is something you'll be complaining about. At this point, I was starting to think Acer had done almost everything right, but then I looked at the little details that most people completely overlook. And surprisingly, that's where Acer continued to impress me. This is one of those areas people rarely think about before buying a laptop, until they actually start using it every day. Thankfully, Acer didn't try to save money here. You get two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports, two full-size USB ports, an HDMI port, and a headphone jack. Now, that might not sound exciting at first, but in real life, it means you can connect an external monitor, plug in a mouse and keyboard, transfer files from older USB devices, and still have another USB-C port available for charging. That's the kind of flexibility I genuinely like to see, because there are still premium laptops that force you to carry a USB hub almost everywhere you go. With this one, you probably won't need to. Another feature I wasn't expecting at this price is the 180-degree hinge. Will you use it every day? Probably not. But whenever you're sharing your screen with classmates, colleagues, or someone sitting across the table, it's actually much more useful than I expected. You also get Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4, which means the connectivity already feels ready for the next few years instead of feeling outdated on day one. None of these features will convince someone to buy this laptop on their own, but together, they make using it every day a much nicer experience. At this point, I was honestly wondering if there was anything Acer had actually gotten wrong, and then I found it. The one thing that stopped me from calling this an easy recommendation, and the one reason this laptop won't be the right choice for everyone. So, what's the one thing that stopped me from recommending it to everyone? After spending time with the Acer Swift 16 AI, I honestly came away impressed. The display is excellent, the performance feels fast and responsive, battery life is reliable, and the overall experience genuinely feels more premium than the price suggests. But here's where the story changes. The moment you start expecting this to replace a true gaming laptop, that's where reality starts to kick in. Now don't get me wrong, Intel's integrated ARC graphics are much better than they used to be. If your idea of gaming is Valorant, CS2, Rocket League, League of Legends, Minecraft, or other popular esports games, you'll probably have a really good experience. Even some modern AA games are playable, as long as you're happy lowering the graphics settings. But if you're buying this laptop expecting to play demanding games like Cyberpunk 2077, Black Myth, Wukong, Starfield, if this review helped you make a smarter buying decision, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. This channel is all about honest reviews that focus on what actually matters before you spend your hard-earned money.